Steelers Nation, what's going on? Your team is out here grinding, constantly pushing to improve and give you something to cheer about every Sunday. Whether it's tweaking the roster, exploring trade options, or waiting on a certain quarterback to make up his mind, Pittsburgh is staying active, focused, and aggressive. Today, we've got two major stories to break down. One involves tight end Jonnu Smith, and the other? Well, it's that never-ending Aaron Rodgers saga. And trust me, both of these updates have major implications for the upcoming 2025 season. Before we dive in, you already know what to do. Smash that like button, show some love to the black and gold, and hit subscribe so you don't miss a single Steelers update. Let's start with what's heating up again. Jonnu Smith to Pittsburgh. Remember a few weeks ago when reports started, swirling about the Steelers reaching out to the Dolphins for a potential trade? Then, just as quickly, it all went cold. Well, it's back. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Steelers have renewed talks with Miami about acquiring Pro Bowl tight end Jonnu Smith. Not only are the conversations alive, they might be getting serious. Schefter tweeted on Tuesday, back in it, the Steelers renewed conversations today with Dolphins TE Jonnu Smith, who is seeking a new contract. The trade between the Steelers and Dolphins is still alive, per source. So what does that mean for the black and gold Smith, now 29 years old, is coming off a career season with the Dolphins? 88 catches, 884 yards, and 8 touchdowns. He was a red zone weapon for Tua Tagovailoa, and he's proven he can handle a heavy workload. Over 100 targets last season. That's something no Steelers tight end has seen in recent years. Here's the part that might have you scratching your head. Why are the Steelers so interested? After all, they already have Pat Freiermuth, the presumed TE1 Darnell Washington, a massive red zone mismatch Donald Parham Jr., a sneaky offseason addition, and J.J. Galbraith, a developmental guy they like. Adding Jonnu Smith to this group feels like overkill, unless something bigger is in play. Could Pat Freiermuth or another tight end be involved in a trade package? Or maybe the Steelers are thinking about shifting their offensive identity to include more two tight end sets, something that could help ease the pressure on whoever lines up at quarterback. Either way, if they land Smith, it tells us loud and clear. This team is trying to upgrade offensive firepower, regardless of the QB situation. Now here's where things get interesting. Jonnu Smith is entering the final year of his 2-year, $8.4 million deal with Miami. And according to reports, he wants a new contract, so Pittsburgh isn't just trading for a player, they'd likely need to pay him too. Why would they do that? Because he's a proven veteran coming off a Pro Bowl year and might still have 2-3 high-level seasons left. And if you're a team like the Steelers, on the edge of contention with an elite defense, sometimes you pay for production rather than waiting for potential. Speaking of production, let's talk about the man who's keeping Steelers fans on the edge of their seats, Aaron Rodgers. The 41-year-old quarterback still hasn't signed. But according to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, we could finally get some clarity next week. Rappaport dropped this nugget on the Pat McAfee show. This time next week, when the Steelers do mandatory minicamp, maybe it changes. That might be interesting. That would be a time when it would make sense for him to go in, sign if he's going to sign, get his playbook, go home for the summer, everything's good. Basically, minicamp is the last logical window for Rodgers to get involved with the team before training camp. Miss that, and he's basically waiting until late July. So why the holdup? Nobody knows for sure. Maybe he's testing the Steelers' patience. Maybe he's still deciding if this is truly his final run. Or maybe, and this is very possible, Rodgers is enjoying the spotlight and keeping the NFL world guessing. Let's connect the dots here. If Rodgers does sign with Pittsburgh and the Steelers manage to pull off a trade for Jonnu Smith, suddenly this offense looks much more dangerous. Rodgers would have Jonnu Smith and Pat Freiermuth at tight end DK Metcalf, if rumors are true, and a reshaped WR group Najee Harris and Jalen Warren in the backfield. An improving offensive line, that's not just a roster. That's a complete unit. It would show that Pittsburgh isn't just hoping for a wild card spot. They're building a roster to make a real run in the AFC. But let's play out the other scenario. What if Rodgers says no? Then you're looking at Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, or Skylar Thompson under center. In that case, adding a reliable veteran tight end like Jonnu Smith could actually be more important, not less. Why? Because young or mid-tier quarterbacks lean on tight ends. They're safety blankets, and if you can stack the position with Pro Bowl caliber talent, it makes life a whole lot easier for the guy taking snaps. Coming into the 2024 season, the Steelers had the highest paid defense in the entire NFL. And early on, it looked like money well spent. T.J. Watt was wreaking havoc, Cam Hayward was anchoring the line, and Minkah Fitzpatrick continued to be the brain of the secondary. That defense was making splash plays, forcing turnovers, and keeping us in games, even when the offense couldn't get going. Week after week, it felt like the defense was dragging the team across the finish line. But then, things changed. As the season hit the back half, the defense started to bend and then break. The Steelers lost 5 of their last 6 games. Coverage. Breakdowns, miscommunications, and missed assignments became all too common. And the worst part? It wasn't always about talent. It was about trust and doing your job. Several players started hinting at miscommunication issues on the field. Others, more subtly, hinted that one player in particular wasn't holding up their end of the bargain. And that one weak link, it may have caused the whole chain to fall apart. Fast forward to this offseason, Steelers veteran safety Minkah Fitzpatrick appeared on 93.7 The Fan. And while he didn't name names, his comments turned heads, talking about the team's newest addition, Pro Bowl cornerback Darius Slay. Minkah said something that might have just revealed the real problem from 2024. A guy like that is extremely valuable. When you have him in man-to-man or even in zone, you know it's solid over there. There are no real concerns out there. You know he's going to be in the right position. You know he's going to do his job at a high level. You can just play ball. Steelers insider Jeff Hathhorn didn't miss the message. He believes Minkah was indirectly throwing shade at Donte Jackson, the former Panthers corner the Steelers traded for last year. Let's be honest, when the Steelers brought in Donte Jackson, the hope was that his speed and experience would lock down one side of the field and give Minkah some freedom to roam. But Jackson's 2024 campaign was rocky. Lingering injuries slowed him down. And the biggest issue? Communication. There were plays where it looked like the defense just broke down completely. Guys pointing fingers, late coverage rotations, and blown assignments. If Fitzpatrick really was covering for Jackson, it makes sense why his 2024 stats didn't pop like they normally do. He wasn't freelancing. He was babysitting. Many fans were critical of Minkah's performance last season, but if you talk to analysts or dig into the All-22 film, the story changes. He was being used like duct tape, plugging holes, covering for mistakes, adjusting mid-play. It wasn't glamorous. It didn't show up in fantasy stats. But it may have been the only thing holding that secondary together by December. That kind of role is unsustainable, even for a player as talented as Fitzpatrick. Now enter Darius Slay, a seasoned vet, a technician, a leader. The Steelers added him this offseason, and Minkah's excitement says it all. With Slay locking down one side and Joey Porter Jr. continuing to develop on the other, the Steelers finally have something they haven't had in a while: stability in the secondary. And that stability? It allows guys like Minkah to get back to doing what they do best, making game-changing plays, not cleaning up someone else's mess. The Steelers made a clear decision not to re-sign Donte Jackson this offseason. He's now with the Chargers, and Pittsburgh didn't look back. They didn't need to. They upgraded with Slay, added more depth through the draft, and restructured the secondary for success. And it's not just about personnel. It's about communication, chemistry, trust. Minkah Fitzpatrick sounds confident. And when a player like that is optimistic, you better believe there's reason for hope. Let's not forget, this front seven is already loaded. T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, Alex Highsmith, Keanu Benton. This unit can dominate the line of scrimmage. If the back end now has the communication, coverage, and veteran leadership to match, watch out. This defense could finally live up to the billing of being the highest paid unit in the league. No more excuses. No more babysitting. Just balling out. All right, Steelers Nation, let's bring it home. The Steelers are back in talks with the Dolphins to trade for Jonnu Smith. He's coming off a monster season and wants a new contract. If the deal happens and Rodgers signs, the offense could take a massive leap. But if Rodgers stays silent, Pittsburgh still has to find a way to win with what they've got. So here's the question for you. Should the Steelers go all in and trade for Jonnu Smith? Do you think Aaron Rodgers will finally make his decision at next week's minicamp? Let me know in the comments below. And let's get that black and gold conversation going. And don't forget, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you never miss the breaking news, insider updates, and bold takes from right here in Pittsburgh. Until next time, stay loyal, stay loud, and stay proud. Let's go Steelers!